we go. Hello, Tao.
Greetings.
Fuck, I still need to go to Orlando Suck and see if I can find that Sam person. Well, there's no breaches though, so it should be fine. Maybe I don't have to. Well, there's not gonna be much happening today, so well, explore, go do some training with your systems if they're up. Figure out new things to practice.
There's still time for that later. Currently, I am attempting to do relaxing.
I see. Alright. wondering what that was again. It's been a bit. I forgot. Hello, Tina.
Hello.
Greetings.
Not particularly fond of the wooden ones in here. Hello.
And here I
Greetings.
thought you weren't gonna show up today.
I didn't think I was, but the one I was taking care of decided to come, so I came anyway.
Sitting around wasn't doing me any good.
Hmm. Meet alternate skin S.
I know that's S. I was just like,
Yeah, that's
I was just trying to think about what kind of jokes they could make about S becoming a Death Knight now without like actually saying that it was S. Like, oh, you're a new person, and then just like throwing darts at a dartboard with random Death Knight backstories.
Is it like Spirit Fighter, Shadow Fighter? There's a game called Smash, and there's a character, and you can choose an alternate version of that character that's usually like a darkened version. Is that like a Shadow Fighter or something? That's what I was going for, but alternate skin is what I could remember.
So you're a Death Knight now, or just you decided to color yourself blue? I see.
There's still S though, just a little more ghostly.
And temperamental as well.
I wonder why that could have happened. It wasn't like I was devoured by ghosts 4 days ago.
Yeah, in hindsight,
Yeah.
come over here so I can smack you upside the head, Ellis.
Why me? I didn't do anything regarding this.
And I quote, "Don't go outside, the death spirits are out there. Blake, Shiro, and S are out there cultivating at the moment, but they should be fine."
Rose, I'm pretty sure, was protecting them. There was a bunch of little spirit orbs floating around that seemed like hers. And they seemed to be circling but not getting close. They seemed to be repelled by these floating orbs, and it seemed me being near there just attracted them more so. And that's not the main reason. This is a cultivation thing.
Blake and Cheryl got it in their minds that if they just hit me really, really hard and got me near death, and then flooded my body with chi, I could start cultivating. They didn't tell me I'd die.
And I'm loading my give a shit right now. Give me a second. Blake and Shiro are idiots. We care for them, but they're just idiots upstairs. No, they're not cultivation masters. They're still learning themselves. Second, the way they unlocked their key, or more specifically the way Blake unlocked hers, was she was thrown in a pit, filled with a lot of poisonous animals, and nearly died. Hence unlocking her key. She probably decided to follow.
Into a pit with Blake.
She probably thought the same the same steps, i.e., bring somebody to near death, would unlock their key, but just in case not, give them a Kickstarter key just to ensure that it happens.
Well, it worked. It worked wonderfully. In fact, I'm entirely Phantom-key now. It's great, fantastic. I can feel the right raw energy of ki flowing through my body, completely annihilating me from the inside out.
By the way, I brought snacks if you're hungry. I still have some left over.
Actually,
Understood.
There's still all
Pulls
that
out a blue glowing
food.
crystal.
I see. I was gonna suggest say
And
actual
some-
food, but...
I hate having pizza.
Well, at the very least, they're just pigs and cows.
Besides the point, every soul is special and sacred.
Oh, this is going to be very entertaining to see how you cope with this.
You can't blame a wolf for wanting to eat rabbits. It's your nature now for however long this lasts. I'm not going to let you starve yourself.
That's even more hilarious. Oh, joy.
Can you try to have at least a little bit of tact today? Just a little bit. I take it
No.
as a personal favor.
One, don't say you can't blame a wolf for wanting to eat rabbits, it's just in their nature. One, that's not true. Nature can always be conquered and overcome. Case in point. Second, you're fine.
Horse
You'll...
still needs to eat meat.
Yes. That's true. But don't point out specific things. You'll be fine. You'll get used to this. It'll just take some time for you to figure out how to... What's the word I'm looking for here? Redirect certain impulses and thoughts.
Sure, like the constant impulse to strangle the living. I'm sure I'll adjust to it eventually, but be nothing more than inconvenience.
If you really need to, I'm available. I
Please
mean,
don't strangle me. I've had enough
at
of
least
that.
if you strangle me, it's not permanent.
I'm not gonna strangle you.
Good.
You're probably the person I want to strangle the least.
You saying that to Ellis or Tina?
When I strangle Grey.
Me. But I doubt you'll want to strangle Tina that much either.
How are
Tina's
you?
lovely.
Yeah, I'm expecting Tina to be like last on the list of people to strangle. How are you at the last of the list of people to strangle, Ellis?
You know the soul hounds are here.
Really? I didn't realize Lyca was
I
around.
think I saw some dogs earlier. But you, how are you doing?
Nothing has changed.
I don't think I've ever actually asked this. Do you have a current goal in life? Something to strive for other than just existing?
Not particularly.
Probably think on that. Might make you a little more productive.
I am plenty
And
productive.
who knows, you may be gaining a set of morals out of it.
I have morals. How dare you?
An improved set.
There is no such thing as an improved set of morals. It's just
Like
other
if you have a
people's
common tier
morals.
set of morals, try and get an uncommon or a rare.
There's just morals. There's no differentiating between them other than what people believe them to be. So you treat it like rarity? Like you're trying to get me to think like an adventure, like a loot gremlin? Well, you're trying to get me to think like some sort of loot goblin? Go for increased rarity of morals?
Maybe. Also, I've been playing a lot of games recently.
Yeah, I could tell.
I mean, again, trying to immerse myself in Blake's culture. JRPGs are next on the list.
Oh dear gods. I see.
I always preferred visual novels.
I should try some of those.
I think you should stay away from
Not
those,
bad.
considering how some tend to be. I don't know if Alice's delicate sensibilities can handle them.
I'll keep an eye on the tags, alright? Also, I might have delicate sensibilities, but it's not as if I'm put off by blood and gore.
That is not what I meant at all.
Okay.
There's a reason I can't share my library with him. Half of them are
Oh,
okay
you mean
books.
the 18+ ones.
Yeah, half of my books are okay. The other half are just keep away from everyone else.
I'm not adverse to that stuff. I'm just not familiar with it. It's like
You're not
unfamiliar
making your-
terrain. I can't really.
You're not making your case any
Parse it
easier here,
easily.
Ellis.
I'm not trying to. I'm just making sure you understand the actual details of it, rather than just, oh no, Ellis can't handle smut.
Like, I don't want to know the details of any of that involving you. Keep that to yourself.
Well, you'll be happy to know I have no reproductive organs, at
Is
least
your
not on
magic
this
still
body.
working? What did I just say? What did I just say, Ellis? Is your magic back yet? I'm not able.
I can't hold it, but at the very least I can down a potion, cast a spell, and only have a minor coughing fit.
Damn it! So I still can't throw things at you. Shit. That's like my bar
you can,
for like
if
when
you
I.
at least let me prepare.
That's the thing. I don't want to
Well,
let
I've
you
got to-
prepare. I want you to be like, oh,
Hmm.
you're throwing something at me. Let me just throw up a little shield real quick for it to bounce right off. It's like the whole thing.
Either way, I'd rather you not throw things at me, even if I can defend myself. The shield could rebound it into someone who does get hurt. What if Tina
I
was
am
standing next to me?
very accurate.
Rebounds just bonks on the head. Then we get an amnesia arc.
We already have that with Laz. Ugh.
We have enough of those.
Yeah, trust me, memory loss is not a fun thing to deal with at all.
I'm well aware. I mean, technically, I kind of have amnesia, just the...
Speaking
My
of,
old
I forgot
days
to
are sort of
ask about that. Do you
faded.
ever figure out what the hell is blocking your memories?
There's something blocking my memories. You mean other than just time
Blake
and
and
age?
Shiro are working on that.
Well, I guess I'll have to ask them about it. Wait, so you're saying when I asked you to like magically scan yourself a while back, you didn't find anything out of the ordinary? It
I
could just
do not
be.
recall you asking me that.
It also could just be a normal mental thing. Mind represses traumatic events and anything associated with it. Me asking him to scan could be remotely associated with it.
Do you mind explaining in more details?
Yeah. A while back, we were having a conversation about me being a better person or becoming a better person, yada yada, and you used yourself for an example. Like, I used to be a bad person and I became a better person for a reason. I asked you what that reason was. You
Yes.
thought about it for a second, got a headache, and then completely forgot the last 5 minutes we were talking about. Or was it the last minute? Regardless, you got a headache and lost your train of thought in what we were talking about. Hence why, directly after that, I tested it to see if it happened again. It did, and I asked you when you got home, give yourself a magical, basically full in-depth scan of everything you can think of, see if you find anything out of the ordinary. Because I thought there might be something affecting you.
There must be something wrong with me then.
Of course there's something wrong with you. Look how fancy you are. Lighten up, man. Come on.
You see his eyes flash green.
Ellis, hey. Ellis,
What?
don't focus on it now. Don't
Mm.
focus on it now. Go home, do a full
Focus on
in-depth...
what?
And that's where we leave it to Blake and Shiro.
I think they're currently at their part-time job.
They got a new job? Cool,
Uh,
what are they working at?
Yes, they're training guards at the Kitsune Manor or something.
Oh dear gods, that's actually concerning. Wait a
Apparently
minute.
Someone offered them a job at the onsen, I think it was.
I need to ask Dorada what that little surprise she had for me was, anyway. Training her guards is getting kind of annoying. Not annoying, but kind of boring. They're actually taking to the training and not complaining like I wanted them to.
You You want them to complain?
I'm giving them the proper training from my home. Granted, a little lightened up, because, you know, Dorada doesn't want any of them to actually die mid-training, so I'm gonna have to settle for lots of broken bones. And severe organ damage, but... But none of them are complaining.
Well,
They're throwing themselves into training. Usually, like, a good chunk of people are complaining by then, or should be. And no one is, and it's bothering me. Because that means they're actually
the
all gonna
guards of a vampire, they're usually very loyal and eager.
I mean, technically she is their... Well, no, she's not the goddess. Her child is the... They're both the goddess, effectively. Problem is, I expected some of them to start complaining about the training. No. They keep coming back asking for more. I don't know if they're masochists, or they're literally just enjoying the training. Either way, this is bothering me. Because on one hand, it's good.
Isn't
They
the
get
child
stronger.
still very young?
Yeah. It's my fault this became an actual religion instead of the cult it was before, but hey. I told Dorada she can either...
Cult religion is just the amount of people worshipping.
Yeah,
So-
well, that and whether or not it's accepted or not. I told Dorada, hey, you can either
Cult is
accept
like,
this cult and keep an eye on
The
it.
tech startup of religions.
I told Dorada, you can either keep an eye on this and accept it, or accept it so you can't keep an eye on this, or don't
There's
accept
a
it and
Silicon
let it
Valley
run wild.
for religions.
It's probably. Either way, yeah. Her guards are being kind of assholes about this, because, you know, on one hand, I'm happy about the training, it's great. Like, they're actually taking to it very well and everything. On the other hand, I expected more people to drop out and fail. This is a problem. I'm actually going to be giving Dorada an effective fighting force, and she already has enough dangerous weapons as is.
I hesitate to make this comparison, but it feels like you're Tanya from Tanya the Evil trying to make all the recruits wash out, but instead it just hardens them and makes them really good.
I mean, I'm fairly certain I've
Have you ever seen
crushed
that
about
anime?
26 lungs, ripped out 17 large intestines. I have...
The large
popped-
ones, not the small ones.
Yes,
That means you probably brought the colon with it.
all of them. All the intestines. I have popped about 7 kidneys. I have broken their bones multiple times, turned a few bones into dust, and they still kept going like, okay, so when's the next
not
training?
The people into dust. I would have been quite worried about that.
No, I'm not gonna waste totems
I
on
don't
them, are
think
you
can
crazy?
usually come back from being dust. I'm a bit
I
of
mean-
a unique circumstance.
Go on, Boots,
Hello.
give him a hug. Give him a hug, you haven't seen him in a bit.
Please, Boots.
Hello, Boots, welcome back.
You
Hello.
genuinely scared me for a moment there.
Wow,
Boots.
old man.
Hello. Yes, I do talk. My name is Alice. I'm a friend of yours.
Wasn't I just saying we don't need any more amnesiacs?
Oh my fucking gods. Not my problem.
Boots. Boots. Boots.
What?
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Great. Come with me.
So did she lose her memory, or is she just hungry and just not thinking right now? It could be one or the other.
I don't know, it sounded like it.
Ah well. That actually is so much better than the previous arm I had before, because then now the only issue I'm having is this right here. That's fine. And you know, this all just expanding outwards, but that's okay. Man, can't believe S is a Death Knight. I am dumb and I forgot to change my stream title. Whoops. Okay. There we go. Imagine how dumb I must look. I forgot to change our stream title. Whoops. Shit.
We were just talking about amnesia arcs.
Did Boots actually forget everything?
They don't know this place. They know me. You'll be right back a moment. There's a cosmic thing I need to take care of.
What's that?
In short, a being made not of flesh or other organic materials.
Well, hell.
What?
He's like you, but metal. The Tao's like you, but metal.
Oh. There's slime?
But more solid slime. A lot more solid.
Oh.
Where the hell's Dorada?
Please, don't.
What?
Feels, odd.
Don't touch people's tails.
Yes,
Is there anything you might recommend to this situation? I do have a mild sedative that might calm her a bit. But I hesitate to administer that to her.
This is honestly, it's having all sorts of abnormal effects upon them. Odds are they will get close to the original source.
Alright, I messaged the therapist. Alright, Ellis, I messaged the therapist. If there's something wrong with someone's head, she's probably gonna be able to handle it. Unless you would rather not want to be around Dorada again. Scared you're gonna get another therapy session.
No, honestly, I feel like I need another therapy session. I'm not adverse to it, just apprehensive.
I'm considering petitioning now Sarah to make it like, I was gonna say company policy, but now
Mandatory.
just, yeah, guild policy to get like a therapy
Ah,
session every
that
month
makes
for
sense.
staff.
Or perhaps a debrief after missions or traumatic events by a therapist.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Someone you will remember, don't worry. Ellis, has this one been given food?
Pardon?
Has it been given food?
Yes, she's been given a lot of apples, a lot of bread, and a whole sack of potatoes.
What about the salted boar meat we have, Ellis?
Right.
The one you were complaining about
It's
earlier?
salty as fuck. Salt doesn't do good with boots.
Oh, right. Why is it salty as fuck? What did you all
Yes.
do with it?
It's preserved. That's how you preserve meat. You put it in salt.
I feel like you put too much in it. I feel like you did this wrong.
You literally have a barrel of salt and you bury the meat in it. That's how you absorb all the moisture and kill any bacteria.
There are easier ways to do it, you know, that don't require salt.
It's what I did.
Ugh.
this, hopefully, this will all be put back on my deal.
Ellis. The therapist says use magic on Boots. Just give her a quick once over.
Right.
Your voice weird. Don't understand well.
Water.
Was out a flask. Put it down. Don't wanna tops it off again. The flask seems smaller than the amount of water coming out of it.
Thank you, Magic Man.
For now, the best thing we can probably do is just make sure she doesn't get into any more trouble.
Why would I do that?
You're not
Gotta
exactly
bring a
in your right
flask.
state.
What's that?
Something to help me. Now, do you mind coming a little bit closer?
Okay.
That's fine.
Go, Magic Man. Do your
Just
magic.
going to make sure you're alright. It won't hurt. Might tingle a little bit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Come on, old man. Focus up.
Is there anything else wrong? Other than the obvious? Clean bill of health.
That is not what I meant, Magic Man.
You'll be alright. If you want any more food or water, just come ask. In the meantime, you're free to bounce around. Just don't break anything.
I ate a lot of food and stuff at other place I just was at.
Well, maybe sit down and give it a moment to digest. Don't want indigestion.
What's that?
Where you don't digest things properly and they kind of get a bit, queasy.
What? Digest.
More water if you want it.
Yeah. I know.
And one more for luck. I think she has ample water now.
Oh, good.
For now.
You're nicer than guy, what's called?
And
La 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 la.
Tokyo. La La Land.
No. La la la.
La La La. Purple Lotus.
No.
Lonesome.
La La La.
La La La.
Was big guy. Was big hammer. No pickup. No pickup. Could be.
I suppose it would be. But as long as you're here, you're amongst friends. No one here is going to hurt you.
He also is happy.
Understandable.
Ate all his food. And he got mad.
Well, you have a lot of food. Just be careful of the salty stuff, okay? You won't like that. The stuff covered in little white crystals.
Oh. Okay. Why not?
Because they'll probably taste like the fire feels. Bernie.
Oh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like this everywhere, Alice. They're not the only ones.
I know. You need to go for a walk.
No, just hold this.
Alright.
I'll be right back. Going for a walk. If you need me, just yell into the helmet.
Well,
Got head.
go ahead.
I'm taking it back.
No. I'm sorry. I'm joking. I won't make that joke again.
Take yours. It's fine.
You'll be alright. Your head's safe with me.
Good.
Up her head.
If you do anything weird with it, I'll know.
Well done.
Like this?
Now put it back on. Like this.
He sure seems happier.
I feel funny.
Down we go. This isn't in a safe train. There's boots. You two are, but Greywarden,
Yeah.
do you mind helping these two with a little bit of range training?
Sure.
We're over that way, where you can shoot against the rock.
I mean, I was just gonna go into the arena.
Well, that works too.
You know, there's no risk of shooting something that probably has a Fae inside. But hey, if it wants me to stand as a target to get Fae shot, sure, why not? What else, Tina?
Tina has headed to the
Oh,
forge.
there you are.
Hmm.
I literally gave you that bag. I guess that bag might be too big to hold on to at all times.
Hmm.
Okay, because I'm feeling lazy and we don't actually have proper targets, here's what I want you to do. Yeah, this'll do. Let's just stand over there. I'm gonna stand over there. Oh, no, actually just far right crystal. You see at the tip of it?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want you to shoot. Just the tip. Work on improving your...
at the crystals.
Fine. Shoot a little bit above it if you feel like you have to. And ideally, just pick a spot on a wall and shoot it until you feel, so you can practice your accuracy. It's easy to practice against a single or non-moving target, but I don't feel like running around today. At least not right now. You gonna draw your gun?
Oh. Better?
No, still on your back. There you go. That's the problem with contacts. They are so hard to grab at times unless you make them massive. Actually, it'd be better if I just give you a target. Yeah, okay. This will be a lot easier for you to practice on, so you'll just you'll just shoot me. Don't go for headshots, go for center mass shots. Don't aim for the head unless all that fun stuff. Left arm. Aim a bit more to your left. A bit to the right. There you go. I see. Stability isn't something very useful or good at right now, is she? Better. There you go. So that is much better. Miss. Hit. Hit. So far, 5 out of 4, or 4 out of 5. Tired. Just gonna sit down, fuck it. Sarah is here, this training would go easier. Missing a lot of shots. I don't think Sarah would be happy about that. Stand up. Right foot back. Left foot forward. Gun up, aim. Wow. And all of a sudden, the accuracy improved. Yeah, that was the issue you were having before. Because you were bouncing on your leg. See the difference in the accuracy? Shots were a lot more closer together. The issue was you were, well, one, balancing the rifle on your leg in a not so good stance. If you're going to be sitting down, either sit down fully and aim, or one leg, like shin, fully flat on the ground, and the other leg as normal as possible. Like you're kneeling down, not crouching. Here. Right leg back, here, sit this leg forward, up. Or if you have to, just sit down. Either way, try not to balance the rifle on your legs. Because if you're sitting wrong, balance the rifle on your leg. Or you're sitting or kneeling wrong, balance the rifle on your leg, and your leg's gonna move the rifle around. Might as well get some maintenance done on the shotgun, huh? Good, good. Yeah, that's right, asshole. I'm using you as a shield. Ha ha ha. Don't overtax yourself by firing the thing too much. If you need to take a break, take a break. But you see what I mean about,
It uses a surprisingly small amount of mana. It's more that
But
I
you
haven't
s-
held my arms like that for that long.
But you see what I mean about the, stance and alright. And like, right? Incorrect stance can
I
really
think so.
throw off your accuracy. And that's, the shots from the previous two stances were far more accurate than before. For you, I recommend, especially due to the size of the gun, if you have to, stand and aim, or sit down like this. Don't kneel.
Understood?
How about you, Tal? Got any ranged? And US? Any range you want to practice?
I have ranged systems, though I am currently keeping them offline
Repairs?
to conserve energy for repairs.
I see. And US? Any ranged abilities you want to practice?
I don't have any.
You don't want to mess around with your new abilities? Or new potential things?
Sword
True. What exactly are you capable of now that you're a Death Knight, I suppose? No energies to manipulate for small ranged abilities? I think I'm gonna get into a fight with this, or a proper spar. We'll see.
To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure.
Really?
All I know is that I can't summon my usual armament. The only thing I can seem to summon is the very first sword and shield that was bound to this armor. That's about it.
Not even that new shield you got.
No, not even the new shield. Anything that I gained afterwards is gone. I can reach new things though. Tangibility, that's all I have.
Interesting. Where did you store the weapons you got afterwards or later?
They were bound to the armor.
And now they're gone, you say?
Without any holy energy, I can't seem to call any of them to me.
Check with your goddess.
Otherwise,
Check with your goddess. She
Pops
probably
your helmet back on.
She probably has them nearby and is probably waiting for you to come collect them again. Maybe this transformation screwed up your connection, so might be able to go to her and reestablish it. Anyways,
all I know is that I don't have any holy energy to me. Gosh, you know it. My goddess is conveniently missing. She hasn't talked to me. She hasn't reached out to me. Nothing. I think she's abandoned me, if I can be wholly honest with you.
right. Well then, what I was discussing before. So you can.
chair.
Oh, you can do your chairs again. Congratulations. Then you can't feel any energies you can
Enough
manipulate.
than that to do it, rather than having to chug another potion.
I can do this neat thing where I reach into living creatures and suck out their soul, but I think that's just fleeting.
Okay. I meant more along the lines of. You already know I have my own energies. Something similar is what I'm thinking you could do. Manipulate the energy into a small thing and you can just fire them off. Not very strong, but you know, meh. The main issue is finding out your energy and how to manipulate it. If you're made of soul stuff, then soul magics are probably going to be your best bet.
It's a form of key. I tried talking to I don't know whether to call them the one responsible or to my teacher. But I tried talking to Blake and Shiro. They were surprisingly unhelpful.
I've always said my piece to Ellis about it. They're idiots who mean well, but they don't know everything. They're not qualified to be teachers in forms of key. They are wonderful
I'm
people
sure
to
they
study
want
and
to help.
Reach out to him.
they're more than
We
willing
just
to
had
help.
other things to talk about first.
Okay then. How much
It's
of a
also
key
only
person?
been 4 days. I'm barely able to keep us all informed.
Hold on. 4 days and you're barely able to keep a solid form? Well, we gotta fix that now, don't we? Come on. Time to fight until you either fall apart or gain something new.
You're kidding, right?
When do I ever kid? At least about train. You said it's only been 4 days since you've done this?
It's only been 4 days since I died, Grave.
No, you seem quite alive to me.
It's a very traumatic thing.
I'm sure it is. Death and all that.
You'll be alright.
I need to, though. Promise you'll stop me.
Say again.
If she
I
gets...
need to, though. Stop me.
Understood. Oh, this is going to need a great
Wow. Thank you for the vote of confidence. My gosh.
It's not that I'm
It's-
not confident in you. It's just that I'm not confident in myself.
Okay, before we start, do I have permission to cast a restraint spell on you?
Go on.
Alright. Only if necessary, though.
If y'all want to clear out, so there's no collateral damage if I throw S somewhere.
Let's go stand up there.
Understood.
Where the hell did Tina go?
Yes.
Tired, Grave? Maybe you should take a nap.
I'm always tired. Come on. Let's get this over with.
You seriously want me to command you?
Come on. Unless you'd rather turn around and walk away, and that's always your choice.
Oh, shut up. If you're trying to get me angry, it's working.
I'm not trying to get you angry. If you don't want to spar, you don't have to spar. That's up to you. Alright, kitty. I see what you can do. The key is just soul key, you said. That's what key usually is. One's internal energies, hence soul. You have to be a lot more specific with what your stuff is. That sure seems familiar. I don't believe death made you forget everything. Did it? And why are you holding your shield like that, hmm?
In front of me?
That close to you. Remember what Blake and Shiro and I told you before? It's a shield that needs to be out and ready to go. And when it's too close to you, doesn't give give your arm much time to cushion any impacts.
Hell.
You're saying you don't want to block
having
attack?
an intangible sword, though. That it just cuts right to the ground like butter.
Yeah. That's why I didn't mention the sword. I was talking about the shield. And I don't think you're skilled enough yet with your intangibility to, say, go intangible in certain parts of your body.
No, definitely not.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Ah,
Am I? I'm just standing here. How am I pissing you off if I'm just standing here?
what am I doing your tutorial?
If you're getting angry, maybe try focusing a bit. Don't let your anger just go nuts. Okay, little Miss Death Knight?
Are you lecturing me?
Maybe?
Or lecturing me?
Oh, probably, who knows? There goes your head, you sure you don't want to go collect it?
It's fine.
Is it? So if I go stomp on it right now, it'll still be fine? You're not gonna face to the ground if you decide to make your entire...
Sure.
Oh god, it's like dealing with an actual child. Okay. First and foremost, go pick your head back up. Remember what I said about not letting your anger rampage wildly? You said you had some sort of impulse to kill living things?
Like a burning hatred in my body, yes.
You know, lovely job
Incredible
controlling
desire
that.
to slaughter, kill, maim, rip, and fucking tear.
You're doing a lovely job trying to control it. I've seen 2-year-olds with better control than you. Come on.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Greywarden.
You got angry enough to literally throw your own head away. Doesn't speak of control to me.
I have a hard time keeping it on my damn body.
It's your head. It's your body, and what's more, you are spectral. You control what it feels like. You control what it looks like and what form it takes.
I bound myself to the only thing I have, which was this armor.
Then you command it. But
I don't know how much this hurts.
I'm sure I can hazard a few guesses. I feel like your sword's gotten maybe a little bit sharper.
It broke apart. It's serrated. I don't necessarily know how sharper. Made of bits and pieces.
Explains that much. And yeah, you're right, I am just playing around with you right now. Oh, Joy, you poked me. Yeah. For one, you are far too easy to anger and tick off. I think the gods I'm undead, huh? If I was actually alive, I think you might have gone berserk by now.
There's nothing left inside you to kill and devour. I can't even be that upset with you.
And clearly, you're really fucking blind. Some death knight you are. Because you're a failure to your own cultivation style.
Excuse me?
If you can see being souls, then you should know I have one. Which means you're not seeing or looking properly. So stop for a second and focus. You're doing too much unbridled aggression. Slow down. I know you don't got 'em, but close your eyes. And just feel for a second I know, that's why I said you don't got them. Close your eyes and feel how many souls are you detecting in this exact area right now. Because I can tell you off the top of my head, there's 5. But can you list where they are?
1, 3, 5.
Incorrect. 1, 2. A Tau is sentient coding. As for soul there, not much to give. Ellis, 4. You, 5. Or no. 2, 4, and 5.
I don't think you can count.
No, I don't think so either.
That's what you'd think, right? But if you have the ability to consume souls, then you should have one of your own. Where else would it go? You can't consume without a place to put it. Second, if you're getting angry from this, I fear for you on actual missions. When one little thing is gonna actually piss you off. Oh no. You stabbed me. Joys of being undead, I don't actually feel pain. Every time you see me flinch, I do it just because I feel bad for the people I fight. You're getting angry, yes? Come on, did you really throw away everything like Shiro taught you? Oh, it doesn't seem like you're just angry at me, it seems like you're also angry at them. Were you not the one who asked for this? Who asked to cultivate? Bastard, more specifically. I don't think my parents ever were married.
I may have asked for it, but I didn't think I would die.
No one did.
No one ever thinks they die, right? It's messy, it's inconvenient,
It's a thing that happens. Whether you let it be the last thing that happens is up to you. Very clearly, it's not for you. Granted, you can die a second time, obviously. And it might actually stick. Who knows? Am I getting on your nerves there, S?
You are. Pissing me off.
Really? It's unsurprising. Because if my simple elementary level taunts are bothering you, imagine what you're going to do in combat against someone who actually wants to kill you, who's really good at cold reading. I mean, already you're showing me that you're a failure as a cultivator. I mean, you died in your first cultivation. What kind of cultivator does that? Second, what kind of swordsman are you? You've missed almost every hit, and the only ones you've gotten were the ones I let you have. And I guess it makes sense your goddess abandoned you. Not the best knight, are you? Now remember what I said? Those are more targeted and focused. Someone who's good at cold reading is gonna pick all that out, because they could just throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Granted, you look so much like a death knight, somebody might actually go focus in on that knight bit. You know, I thought you were gonna go feral, huh? I'm kinda disappointed. I was actually looking forward to that. What does that look like anyway? You going feral? Do you just drop your sword and roar?
You good to keep going?
Okay, yeah, enough playing around. Should actually try and impart some wisdom, huh, buddy? First and foremost, shut up. Because you're the one making yourself angry, not me. You're angry? Focus it. Stop swinging with reckless abandon. Hold your sword like a proper longsword would. Let's see it. Second, you're swinging properly. Don't just swing. Follow through with it. If you're gonna swing like this, I expect you to follow through with it. There you go. You're angry? Focus it. What are you focusing that anger on? It's a tool as much as it is a weapon.
Cutting the damn mask of yourself.
Wow, is it the mask that irritates you? Not surprising. That's not the answer I'm looking for. You see me? Focus that anger on your target. When it's done, focus the anger on things that actually deserve it. What were the codes you lived by when you were a normal holy knight? What were they again? I think I remember. You see someone in trouble, what do you do, exactly? See if you can help me jog my memory. You see someone in trouble, what are you supposed to do? Word starts with an H.
Don't remember.
Isn't this fun?
Hold on.
You see someone in trouble, you help them. What about justice? What about that, I know there's many kinds. Do you know what your kind of justice is? Well, I'm just wondering if you're gonna let this whole... Okay.
What does it matter?
What does it matter? What matters is if you're gonna let this change who you are. You call yourself a monster? Are you just gonna let your death change exactly who you are? That tells me you didn't have much will to begin with, which makes no sense seeing as the shields you used were powered off your will.
That changes a lot of things.
No, it doesn't. Death doesn't change anything. All it does is make things more obvious. And what this tells me is that you got a lot of self-doubt that you hide behind your will.
Are you not still S, the Knight of Justice?
I don't know anymore, Alice. I don't know. I'm confused, I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm irritable.
Really? I hate not being able to do soul magics to make this so much easier. Okay, here we go, buddy. We're gonna have to do this the normal way we do it back home.
Nothing permanent.
What is your name?
Doesn't matter.
I think it does. Your name, what is it? Even if it's what you're going by now, what is it?
It's hard to think. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's what it was. Okay.
Stop talking.
You've got this ass. Never really knew.
What is your name? You answer that and maybe I'll stop talking.
It's us. It's always been just us.
And who is S? That's a very good question. Who is S? Well, let's start with something simple. What is S like to
A lot of
eat?
things.
Start with something.
Sweet.
Well, maybe not now, but what did S like to eat in the past?
I don't remember.
And then pick something. 'Cause that's the wonderful thing about things. You can just choose.
So, sure, why not?
What about those tea parties?
Tea parties with my patron don't count.
Another question. What was S's favorite thing to do after a day? Just after a day of training. What did she like to do right after that?
Train.
I said after training.
There was never a stop to it.
Didn't seem like that to me.
Train. Pass out. You train some more.
Alice, do you mind either casting a silent spell so everyone, so no one but us two can hear? I got some things I gotta say. Asking you for a favor. I'll owe you one.
I think I know what you want to ask. And she's not going to tell you if anyone.
Never said ask, I said say. So if you would, silent spell. I'd rather this stuff not exactly get out.
Alright.
Thank you, old man.
Only you two will hear each other. Yeah, no. No. Yeah, silence.
Oh then, let's turn this around then, shall we? Instead of me asking who you are, how about you ask me instead? Why don't you ask the questions? So let's start with, who am I? What is my name?
You're a Greywarden, and you're an asshole.
That's not what I'm saying. I want you to ask these questions, not answer them.
Sure. Who the hell are you?
My name is Dominic Santiago, Captain of Greywarden. Next question.
So why drop a name? You think you're cool?
No, it's an alias. We do live and work in the Feywild, don't we? But no. Past is a messed up thing. In fact, let's turn this into a game. You've asked me a question. 2, but I'll be fair. I'll ask you another question. What does S fight with?
sword and my shield. Mostly just a sword.
Your turn. Your question.
Why'd you leave?
Because I couldn't remember my memories. I actually locked them away. I wasn't a good person, so I decided if I reset, I'll be a good person. Though, this isn't in Greywarden. Greywarden was lost a long time ago. This is from where me and Dorada are from. A lovely place surrounded by a barrier that kept things in and things out. My question. S was a knight of what, exactly? Not who, but what. What are the values S had?
Knight of a goddess.
Fair. Guess I'll have to save the values for the next question then, huh? Your turn.
She served loyally. Even after death.
Interesting way to serve. I believe it's your turn for a question now.
Why the mask?
Because of what I am. As a Witherborn, once we reach a certain age, we skeletonize. All the flesh falls from our body and we turn into skeletons. During the time I started skeletonizing, I wore a skull to hide it, as the skeletonization started around my face. Much easier to hide, not as easy to hide, so. Unfortunately, it happened to be the skull of a wither, and the symbolism was nuts. And then, somebody I love, the person I still love, made a mask for me. Now, obviously, this is not that mask. That mask, she has, currently. Now, you wouldn't have seen it. It's a rabbit mask. My question. Why so angry?
It's instinct. Built into me after oh so many years of holding everything back.
Your turn.
Do you trust people here?
It's always an interesting question of trust. Yes and no. I can trust, for example, using Ellis. I can trust Ellis to do his job. When we're on duty, I can trust him to look after my back when we're on missions. In public life, outside of work, no, I don't particularly trust Ellis. So I have trust in him, and I don't trust him. This was my turn. Now then, what were the Knight S's values?
I don't. Everything's getting blurrier the longer I'm dead. It's getting harder to remember who I used to be. Things like core
True.
values were the first thing to slip away.
That tends to happen at times. Your turn for a question. Your turn for a question.
Are you losing your memories too?
Yes and no. I'm old, S. I am very old. After a while, certain memories just get faded and hard to remember. But I'm slowly keeping that from happening anymore. I can remember enough. My turn, I guess. Do you know what I see when I look at you, S?
A Full of anger, fury, resentment.
I see someone scared who doesn't know where to go from here. I see someone who got put into a situation they were not expecting and is losing themselves in the moment because they don't know what else to do. Your turn.
Scared.
Were you not the one who said earlier you were
I think I'm
scared?
scared.
You said earlier to Ellis
Adjusting.
and me, you were scared as well. You just died after all. No, that counts as your question, so. I have another one. What do you value? What do you value, S?
I want to make sure people are taken care of. Above all things. I want to make sure people are taken care of, but that's obviously not going to happen.
I guess it's your turn for a question.
What do you think I should do?
I think you should put down the sword and we should have an actual discussion instead of this little play fight we've been having. Cause trust me, S, you've seen what I can do, and you haven't even seen half of it. Do you really think this was an actual spar or an actual fight? Nothing against you, but I genuinely don't want to hurt anyone. Hence why I said we should have an actual talk. Because this is how we do therapy back in Greywarden. If a soldier's stressed or not feeling well,
We just start swinging wildly at each other?
no. Well, let me ask you a question. If I had come up to you and started asking these questions, would you have really answered them?
No.
That's why.
I don't think I would.
Back home, when you're fighting, you let your emotions go out. Why do you think I always knew you were so angry in this fight? Or do you think I was constantly taunting you? Your emotions are clear as day when you fight. There's a lot you can tell about a person when the ways they fight. Hence why I said,
Being
put a-
vulnerable got me into this mess, Green.
I suppose. That's why I want to put the swords down and actually have a proper discussion.
Trusting someone got me into this mess. Why should I trust anyone?
Good question. I have another question. Why do you think you were vulnerable? Why do you think this is a bad thing?
I'm a monster.
Congratulations!
My
Now you're
mind
one
is
of us.
filled with a desire to kill and maim and devour, but slaughter the living.
S. Look at me. S. You are not a monster. Chair. Have a seat. If you really believe yourself a monster, fine. If I can't change your mind after this, whatever. But you're not a monster. Why, you think you have it bad? You want to slaughter or kill everything in existence, S. You're lucky. You just want to kill. You don't know what a Witherborn is, so I'll explain it as best I can. We are effectively humanoid versions of a creature known as the Wither from my home. These things are entropy incarnate. They care not, they have no feelings, it's not even a desire to kill. It's a desire to see the end of all things. Hence, what I have in me. You know why I don't run out and just destroy and kill and wipe things off the map to fulfill that quest for entropy? I found things
Because you've gotten a hold of it.
Yeah, I also found things I care about. Your instincts do not make you who you are, S. Because you know what I see whenever I look at you? I don't see this spectral ghost knight. I don't see this. I see the same golden, smiling child who showed up at the guild one day looking for adventure. I see that same person who wants to help people because genuinely they cared. They wanted to help people. You are not a monster, S, and you were never a monster. Monsters are those who harm others with no care in the world. Monsters are those who harm others and enjoy doing so. And I know that if you did so, you would feel bad if they were innocent. You would feel bad if they didn't deserve it. That does not make you a monster, S. It makes you a normal person. Like the rest of us.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not normal.
Of course not. No, no, and yes, you are. The idea of normal is interesting. I'm normal. You are not. Ellis isn't. Nobody else is normal. I'm normal. On the reverse side, if we go to, say, Tina, she might think she's normal. And some other people are normal, but others aren't. One's idea of normal is what they are used to. You might say that someone who genuinely cares and does their best to do good before you became this knight, well, this ghost knight, was normal.
It's getting harder to remember things. Right? And I'm worried that I'll completely forget who I was. I'm worried I'll forget everything. But when that happens, God forbid, I don't know what's going to happen to a lot of people.
Man, I wish I had somebody to help me out with this stuff when I first started out. Because I used to be human. Once upon a time. I wasn't always like this. When I said I was a captain, I wasn't joking. When I became this, it was because I and the other captains made a mistake. We believed too firmly in our governing system, in our king and queen, and believed that they would see any problems that could happen. We did our best to advise them, obviously, but even we're not completely all-seeing. So when the church decided to convince the king and queen that it was a good idea to summon withers in town, to have our captains defeat them in a single blow to prove how strong they were, well, no one disagreed. You were strong enough to kill these things easily. It was part of your mission to become a captain. That's how you became promoted. You had to fight a wither on your own.
I see.
No one looked deeper than that. No one saw that they were experimenting. Nobody saw that they were strengthening these withers because the cult had got to them. I became like this because I pissed off all 12. Everyone needed to get out, and even though I was the weakest, I disobeyed orders. I said, get everyone out. I'm fast. I'm very fast. I can distract these things. So that's what I did. I hit and ran. I pissed off all the withers and got them all to the town square while everyone else evacuated. And in doing so, got cursed by 12 separate creatures to be this. Hence, when I locked away my memories, it was an unconscious decision. So when I woke up, I couldn't remember anything. And obviously, I struggled with the same things you did. Hyper-aggressive, violent, didn't really play well with others either because of my nature. But over time, I relaxed, I calmed down. Because this feeling is temporary. It's a shock to your system is what it is. You went from being one thing to some other entity entirely. You're getting used to it still. What you need is time to adjust and relax. Acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge your urges, but don't bar them away. There's a reason I enjoy fighting so much. I enjoy fighting, but I don't like hurting people. Why? Because fighting is a way to fulfill that goal of entropy. Because through that is an active destruction. With every swing, I reduce something from its full part. With every punch, something breaks a little. To nothing. You wish to fight and kill? You wish to consume souls? Then just spar with me and others. You'd be surprised what you have. You'd be surprised what can actually fulfill those desires. Hell, really, if you want, you can even go out, and I can even recommend you to a little adventurers board. They have all sorts of little mini adventures to go. Help the farmers clear their cattle, or cull their cattle. Go help this one group clear out some monsters, because they might need a little bit of assistance. What you are now does not make you who you are. Your feelings and your mind, your memories, your soul make you who you are.
I never had a self. Right. At the very beginning, I was shaped by the form I was given. I don't think I've ever been forward with you.
Well, I don't think I've ever given you that option to be. After all, I'm sure you, before, and anyone else can attest, if you ask them what kind of person Greywarden is, they'll say, an aggressive, violent asshole who doesn't really care. There's a reason I act like that. I'm old S. If I acted my age, well, things would be very boring around here now, wouldn't they? After all, you wouldn't be getting laughs out of my antics. The older you get, especially now that you're undead, the more you're gonna learn, the more you're gonna know. Don't ever act your age, S. From one undead to another, don't ever act your age. The moment you do is the moment you consign yourself to oblivion, the fact that you will never age and potentially never die unless somebody kills you. But act how you want to act. If you want to be a chaotic little shit one day, go for it. Because that means you're going to look at every day with new opportunities, every day, just another day of life that you can celebrate and have fun with others.
But my life ended.
Did it?
Why should I
I don't know. You're still here. Did your life really end? Because if your life ended,
I'm here because of stubbornness.
then I don't think your life ended, S. Because if your life ended, your ass would be back in the cycle. You'd be waiting to be reborn. You see, that's the funny thing about us undead. In the beginning, we always see our deaths as this big traumatic event and everything, and it is. Don't get me wrong. Becoming undead is a very traumatic event for some. That doesn't mean it's the end. It's just another chapter in your story. You shape how it goes. So I have a question for you then. Are you gonna sit there and be whims to your urges? Let whatever anger you have take over and drive your actions? Or are you going to be yourself? Are you going to be S and live your life to the best of your ability? No matter what situation you find yourself in.
I never liked hurting people, right? I never did, and now, every time I take a life, every time I consume a soul,
Coming in.
Hi.
Just
Hello,
a
old
note,
man.
if you get to break in your conversation, I might need both of your advice over here.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. You stay
It
seated.
just feels good to hurt people.
But you said yourself you don't like hurting people.
I don't, but I'm worried I might. It feels predatory and instinctual.
But did you not enjoy fighting me? Despite how angry I made you?
No.
So you're saying the act of swinging their sword during the combat, even though you did hit me, not exactly hurt me, because as you can see, I'm still standing here pretty much unharmed. You might have stabbed me a few times, but come on, S, it's me. You're saying swinging your sword and
all the way to the end.
you're saying swinging your sword and not enjoying a proper fight or spar with somebody didn't make you feel somewhat happy or satiated?
That really wasn't a proper fight, Greg. That
True.
was you were toying with me.
But you're saying this swinging your sword didn't at least alleviate the feeling.
Just felt like I was giving into my anger. I barely even registered.
And that was the point of what the taunts. I wanted you to give in. I wanted you to go feral so I could actually have you sit here, because my thought process was, after you went feral, you'd probably be exhausted. This is a much better outcome.
Yeah.
I like fighting.
Alright.
I like fighting. I like the act of swinging my sword, clashing against other people, because one, it shows I'm strong, but two, it's also my feelings crashing against somebody else's. Like I said, you learn a lot about somebody through the way they fight. That doesn't mean I like to hurt people.
So what did you learn from me?
You're scared, worried, and uncertain. That anger that you felt, that you were letting control, so weak, very flimsy shield you had to hide your true feelings. That I would know, I've done the same thing. You're in a situation you don't know what to do with.
Damn it, you got your book.
Ta-da. I'm actually very good with people. I just don't act like it, because, well, hey, gotta keep some surprises, right? Hence why I also called you Kiddo and Kitty. Those ones were actual, genuine referrals to you as a child, because that's what you are for me right now. You are a child undead, freshly born. You got all of eternity in front of you, as it's up to you and what you want to do with it. And as for you not being entirely straight and honest with me, meh, I don't need to know your backstory. I don't need to know any of that, I just want to help you out. It's up to you if you want to say it. But that desire to help people will always be there. I don't need to know who, why, or their circumstances. If I feel someone needs help, I'll try and help them.
I don't mind.
It's up to you. But until then, let's hold off on that for a
Fine,
moment.
it took me dying for you to start treating me better.
Oh no, I've always treated you all fine. Thing is, the reason I never got involved as much as I did was because you were always being watched by Ellis. He's a good person, and he can handle the most normal things, but when it comes to situations like this, where you're lost and you don't actually know who or what you are anymore, that's something I excel in. Ellis can handle everything else. He's far better at that
I
than
see.
I am. Then in regards to your entire story and all that, you can tell me after we figure out what's going on with Ellis and what situation he's in trouble with. And I'll sit down
I
and
may as
listen.
well see what the hell he wants.
Yeah, don't
If
worry.
something asks him mine, I call the rights to stab him.
Joke about that, actually. Make those kinds of jokes. Make those kinds of morbid... it does. Because when you make those kinds of jokes, you realize that the action... and something you'll learn real soon. Words and actions are two entirely separate things. I talk a lot of shit. Did this conversation not change how you thought I act? Or how I am? Alright, Ellis, buddy. What's up?
Alright, we have a moral quandary on our hands.
Oh god, it's no wonder you
Yes,
needed our help.
Not as Boots seems to have reverted somewhat into a stage where in her adolescence, she latches onto someone, mimics them, and that's how she starts to learn to take this form. If she looks at anyone directly, she starts to mimic them, and it seems like she might latch on permanently and re-adapt. This might allow her to get over her learning disability, which was caused by the fact that she never adapted to one person. She was constantly jumping between people, but I've currently given her some sunglasses to give her a chance to look away and instructed her not to look directly at someone.
Well,
If we're talking about
If
an
you want a
actual good,
demonstration,
if we're talking about an actual good person, Ellis, for her to latch onto, I don't think there's a better option here.
I would have said Dina.
Well, yeah, but
I would have said Tina.
you would have.
Takes off your sunglasses.
Probably a better. We're all not gonna need us.
Hello, Boots.
Hello, Alice.
Worst case scenario, she just turns out very
That's me.
fancy.
Again, it seems that she regains herself if she just stares at a wall or something, so if we allow her to just relax and not look at people for a while, she will retain her normal self.
He will retain her
So-
normal self.
Which is why I was having her look away.
But that is why I was looking away.
Merry Christmas, you have another child. I feel like I
This
should.
doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm taking advantage of her.
Well, you
Doesn't
can
feel
re-
right. I feel like I'm taking advantage of her.
Chair.
Puts the sunglasses back on.
Careful there.
Sorry,
Hold your head in place.
didn't realize you were behind me.
Mm,
Are the mandibles gone? I can't do this. Sorry.
Signs are creatures of habit. They mimic that which they see, that which they know. They're products of their environments. She grew up on her own
Signs are
because she had a
creatures
lot
of habit.
No,
They mimic
Hmm.
creatures in their
I'm going
environment.
to stop. I'm going to stop.
Don't. I get it. I understand it, but Alice, here are the
I just want
options.
Boots to be Boots. I don't want to make her someone else, which is what will
I
happen
don't
if.
want to make her someone else.
Okay, so you said she stares at that wall, she will gain her memories back.
Has something to do with
Yes.
the recent disappearance. I
Hmm.
have investigating to do, but for the time being, I would recommend probably keeping this one isolated.
I could request
I recommend
XE.
keeping this one isolated.
XE could show her some videos of her past. That might help.
Actually, could show videos of her past. Who's
They
that?
could also just mimic Exie.
They could mimic her.
Yes, but I can give XE a tablet and she'll play the videos on the tablet. I doubt she'll adapt to a tablet.
You'd be surprised. God forbid she gets into One Piece. God forbid she watches One Piece and gets attached to Luffy.
God forbid we give
Gobble
kids
gobble
anime.
no.
No.
I mean, I did suggest.
Imagining Boots gets in touch with something like Berserk.
That
Oh,
sounds familiar.
Lawrence.
Huh?
Boots. That's your name.
Yeah.
You
No.
want to play Fruit Ninja? She was
Sure.
playing it earlier.
But you look, we
These
should
are
all be
tablets.
fixed at time.
Yeah. Yeah,
There you go. Do you know
Dorada
how to play
does
this?
recommend the, just slowly reintroduce her to things she knew in the past.
She enjoys playing games on the tablet and phone, so there you
Oh.
go.
Uh,
Something she's done.
oh. Ah, head. Don't mind me, now we have frame drops. It's fine, it's fine.
Looking at us, making her own opinions.
Wow.
So she's getting a little bit of each. Yes,
I see.
she's getting a little bit of each of us, it seems, but mostly retaining herself.
Well, I think
Which
we're done
honestly
here in
is-
the pit.
Is the best.
Well, we're done here in the
Yes.
pit, so we can head back to the guild hall. Unless you're just gonna...
Sorry, I'm grouchy.
It's fine. I'll be back to talk to you soon. I actually want to get some ice cream. So I'm just gonna teleport to Saphira real quick. I will
Did
be
your
back.
conversation with him actually seem progressive?
Aw, please, have some faith in me.
Surprisingly. Yes.
I'll see you all in a few minutes. I just need to go teleport to Saphira. Bye.
I
Oof. Yo, this ain't cool, man. To explain. So my headset does this weird thing when it overheats. My headset does this thing where it overheats and kind of breaks, so you're gonna have to give me a moment here. We're just gonna be right back. And I'll be back to, Stardust in a moment. Where's my be right back? There it is. There we go. We'll be right back, and then go to Stardust in a moment. I just need to, like, get things launched up and refixed. And, just crack open my headset while I do this. And we're back in. With ice cream, too. As soon as I just load in real quick. Give me a second. Got multiple things of ice cream. Da, da, da. They should have went back to that. Yep, they did. Good. Okay. On this towel. That went to shut down. It's kind of a shame. I didn't
Good
realize
luck,
the tower's
sorry.
going to shut down. I got ice cream. I wasn't sure what everybody
Cool.
wanted, so I just got
Ice cream.
vanilla. Yeah, here you go. Just got like one cup.
Souls of the living would be real fucking tasty right now.
You'd be surprised. There you go.
Oh, then. How about a bowl of ice cream with a soul crystal?
They're all in cups, by the way.
Ow.
They wouldn't actually give me a proper, like, to-go bowl, so.
Stick the straw where the neck is and try to suck, but just nothing happens.
Hold on. Pulls out a spork.
Sure, when we figure out what your
Ooh,
stuff is, we
cold.
can work on getting you a
Use that.
physical body of sorts you just make with your own. Like my arm.
Physical body of sorts.
Are you feeling it, or is it
Hold
just
the taste.
adhering to the inside?
No, it's just
Yeah,
kind of
be
burning
careful
up.
not to melt this.
Well, you do have the crystal if you want to use that instead.
I got everyone ice cream because I didn't think anyone would want to be left out.
That's all.
Are your flames actually hot?
Okay,
They're-
yes.
Also, whenever you wanted to continue talking, yes, we can.
Huh.
I was
Yes.
and just do other things.
Yes. Tap the X in the top left twice. And then click on whatever icon looks interesting.
Whenever you feel comfortable with it, though. Yes.
The side
force
away
anything.
from me.
Honestly, a talk sounds nice.
Up to you. Just gotta lead the way.
Hmm.
You choose the place you want to
Type
speak
a
in.
thrashing wildly, swing barely.
I mean, I can carry you too if you want, but I don't think Knight would like to be princess carried.
If your princess carry me, all of the durability in the world won't save you. I will make sashimi out of your face.
That
Well, I
sounds
think
like
I owe you a
embarrassment.
Princess Carrie because you did it to me.
That sounds like embarrassment, old man.
What's sashimi?
Sashimi's a type of.
Will make sashimi out
I was gonna say, isn't that a type of fish? Like a type of like cooking dish with fish, or?
Yeah.
thinly sliced.
It's-
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not the chef. No, I had to learn a bit, I guess.
But yes,
But yeah.
you Princess carried me against my will.
Yeah.
Only fair to return the favor at some point.
Mhm. You know, if your princess carry me, I'm going to rip off your mandibles and shove them down your throat.
He doesn't have a throat.
If you princess carry me, I'm
I
gonna
do
take
have a
the
throat.
down
You
the
do.
wall.
There's this little hole under here.
I
It
keep
goes
forgetting
round
that.
and down.
I keep forgetting that.
Just because I don't have lips doesn't mean I don't have a throat.
Part of the reason why I
have a
don't
little
like-
hole that
also-
these mandibles shove tiny bits of food in, and they slurp it down, and it goes into my stomach.
Part of the reason why I also don't cover his
I have a
mouth,
digestive tract.
because for me to cover his mouth, it would look completely different than normally covering someone's mouth, and there's already enough rumors about the two
You
of us as
basically
is.
shove your fist underneath my chin. That's how you cover my mouth.
There's already enough rumors about the two of us as is. We don't want to feed the fire.
I am not
I can
romantically
always
interested
just
in you, Greywarden.
burn those mandibles
Eh.
enough. Just really seal them. Just
Eh.
burn them to ash.
No, I know what we gotta do. We gotta do like
Hmm.
Blackbeard did, like way back when. Just set like the tips of his, like, put some burnable wax on the tips of his mandibles, set fire so it looks like his fate, like his mouth is just spewing flames.
Yes, Blackbeard.
So, a question.
Blackbeard.
If we put peanut butter on the edges of those mandibles, are you just gonna keep wiggling them around like that trick you do with the horses and peanut butter?
I mean, you can see that a couple of them have like little pincers. They can clean each other and, you know, rub it all off like.
You stole this from lobsters. I know he says they're all like different genetic
More
things.
than
I
just
swear
lobsters have mandibles. Spiders have mandibles. And many arachnids have mandibles like this. But yes, these are from lobsters. Mostly.
Okay, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna be kidnapping S now, seeing as she can't walk on her own.
Don't you dare.
Excuse me, I'm gonna be kidnapping S now.
You have a nice day. Vince.
Greywarden, give her a rest.
If she wanted her talk. I mean, she can't walk. I was just gonna put her on my shoulder, but she doesn't want to be on my shoulder. I
mean-
guess I can just princess carry you.
Unless you want to talk here.
It's a sensitive matter, Alice.
Hmm.
It's fine, I can walk.
You want to fill me in on it later?
Sure.
And one of the perks of being
We'll
undead,
be
you'll soon
about.
find, is that you're not gonna get as tired as you used to. It's just gonna take some time. Anyway, lead the way.
Oh, there's that odd numbness, the coldness. I don't know where to
Tell me
go.
when you want to go
I
home, I'll
usually sit
escort you.
underwater when I'm practicing.
Oh, that's good. You.
Just take a random place
Go
anywhere
to
on
the
campus.
campfire, it's a nice spot.
I suppose you'll be right.
Go to the campfire.
To the campfire.
Usually, whenever I needed time alone, I would just sit at the bottom of the lake.
Alright. I'm sure Hana won't
I don't know how
mind.
that's going to work. Can you even talk underwater? I'm a ghost, so I expect I won't have any issues.
That's up to you. Pick a spot. We can even sit by the tree if you want. Sure.
Oh, it's warm. It's warm.
Well, take your time.
It's funny, because I'm both burning constantly and also ice cold.
It's a
That
spirit
normal?
flame. It's a spirit flame. The way it works is different. If somebody were to touch you, I'm assuming, yes, they would get quote-unquote burned, but it'd most likely be the type of burn you'd get from touching something absolutely freezing.
Is there any way to reduce the agonizing pain that I'm in?
Time. I'm not saying that like a time heals all wounds. I'm saying that as in a it needs time. I remember when I first
First injuries.
I remember when I first changed, I could barely move, but I forced myself to out of necessity. I woke up in what was effectively my realm's version of hell, and had to fight the people I'm friends with now, or a race I'm friends with now, to be able to leave that hell. And then after that, I still wasn't able to stop and take a proper break to get used to being undead.
I see.
The pain you feel will dull over time, and eventually you'll get used to it.
the stars don't feel quite as close to me as they were. Everything feels distant, Gray.
Things tend to at times.
Like I'm divorced from everything, like I'm a stranger to reality.
Remember when I mentioned the cycle before?
Yeah.
When a being dies, they go back into their realms or realities. Reincarnation or reincarnation cycle. Their soul goes back and is recycled to a new life. The reason you feel divorced is because you're now outside that cycle. You were supposed to die, go back to the cycle, and you didn't. Through sheer stubbornness, here you are. Hence why everything feels distant right now. And it's gonna feel distant until you get reacquainted with everything. It's gonna take time. Again, a lot of the answers you're looking for just takes time and you gotta wait it out.
My patron told me that if I ever expired, she would be there for me, that she would be there to protect me, to take me home. That it would be alright. Now here I am, totally divorced of any holy power in the slightest.
I'm sure your
My
patron.
armor's lost all of its luster, its ability to self-recover, its...
Your patron meant what she said. The only issue is she couldn't get here. I'm assuming she assumed that when you died, it'd probably be in the mortal realm, not the Feywild. She assumed she'd be able to step out from whatever divine realm she's in for however long it would take to gather your body and soul and bring it back to her realm to rest proper. That's the problem with the divine, though. They follow a set of rules that have to be adhered to. The Feywild's not a realm of mortals, it's not a realm gods can just step into as they please. The Feywild has its own rulers, its own gods, and when I say gods don't like others stepping in their own territory, I mean it. I genuinely believe your goddess most likely was going to show up if she could. She just had no capability to do so. That doesn't mean she's abandoned you. And the fact that she's missing is interesting as well, because that can also state some other things, such as she tried and something happened to her. Well, it takes some investigation to find out what.
Yeah. Or maybe she's just abandoned me.
Maybe. But
Left me to my fate. My use to her came to an end, and like all other gods, she turned out to be just another asshole.
who knows? Only way to find out is to see her again.
And if she's not answering my prayers, then I have no way to get into her. I can't even get back to her while talking to her in her own demi-plane. She's entirely absent.
So here's the question. She's not responding to you. What about others? Were there others who worshipped her?
John, Isaac, technically Alice, Blake.
Speak with them. See if she's talking with them, or if they've gotten any response from her before or after. Because if
Given
they...
the state of boots reverting, it would make sense. If she's missing, the primal aspect of oozes aren't being tended to. The universe's regulator for it is missing, which is causing all sorts of issues.
Well, things tend to fix
And it's
themselves.
not just boots, it's all other signs as well, which makes me worried for the colony here.
You really are just answering a lot of theories I had about what you were. And what your goddess may
Congratulations, I
have been.
used to be a slime.
So I was right.
Yes. I was a pure slime. I used to be a human. I got reincarnated. Reincarnated, but my soul didn't stick well to the body I was given. So I asked and begged, and she put me in this armor that reminds me of my humanity. The warrior god I used to be. Metaphorical warrior god, I died. I was just really good with a sword and shield. I lost everything. I became an eidolon, if you're familiar with those.
And here I thought you were just handcrafted by a goddess to go out and protect slimes.
Sort of. I'm an eidolon. I was made from the soul of a human. I was made to have an unfiltering sense of justice. A desire to protect all things. I was shaped by her belief in me. Which, that means when I cultivated, I didn't have any self-image, and I turned into nothing.
You don't look like nothing to me.
I clawed my way back into this armor. Because much like when I first woke up after being reincarnated, I couldn't handle the strain. I needed something to remind me of my lost humanity.
I wouldn't say it was lost. The armor is just a focus. It's what it is. Giving it far more importance than it actually deserves. Because I don't know about you, but an undying will and just pure stubbornness to be able to do something, that sounds pretty human to me. Think and know. You hear all these stories about heroes, gods, monsters, demons, and the like. And in those stories, you rarely ever notice the human who goes against these insane odds. These humans who win the story against these monsters, or the humans who, through sheer force of will, become these creatures for some goal, be it to help or to harm. It's no joke when people say humans are the most adaptable race. In every aspect, be it combat, life, or even just having kids, which is something I refuse to even think about because that genuinely terrifies me on an existential level.
Surprised you're on good and you get scared.
Think about it this way. There's a race out.
Big tough guy,
Think of it this way. There's a race out there capable of not only coupling, but having kids with anything in reality. The dirt, a rock, a literal god. Is that not scary, though? That they are capable of not only that, but what else? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is impressive. But then extend that. If they're capable of that, just through sheer stupidity and force of will, what else are they capable of? And then you get the stories of the slain gods and goddesses. Entire reality saved because a small group of humans decided to stand up and say, no. That's what scares me so existentially about humans, that if all of them ever decided to get together and set their mind on something, they would truly be unstoppable. Thankfully, they're all fucking idiots and tend to get distracted by the simplest things. Or else I genuinely...
I think I'm an idiot, Gray.
I think you're a person. And yes, everyone's an idiot. No one's truly smart, because the true idea of smart is that you are incredibly intelligent in everything. Everyone's an idiot. I, for one, am very smart when it comes to people and combat, but if you ask me to put my brain to science or the mathematics, I'm not going to be able to do much there. I'm an idiot there. US are a genius. You're incredibly smart when it comes to combat and genuinely be and those kinds of emotional aspects for others, the moral things. But when it comes to more specific specific tasks, more specific ideas, you probably wouldn't excel as much. That's why I don't like the traditional definition of idiot. The traditional definition is that you're just not smart in anything. That's never the case. When I call people idiots, they're smart, yes, they're smart in their fields. Outside of their fields, they know nothing. An idiot is a normal person. An idiot is the average person you'll find out on the street. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. Alice is an idiot. We have our specialties. We step out of those and we don't know anything. And that's also fun. Because it's part of the adventure. You step out of your specialty and then you learn things either about yourself or others that you just didn't even know in the first place. But this is supposed to be you talking, not me. Sorry about that. As you can see, I tend to ramble.
It's fine. Honestly, it's nice just to listen.
But anyway, as you yourself are saying, whenever you feel like you're ready to say.
Well, like I said, not much to me. I was human. I died. She offered me a chance, said, hey, you can still make a change in the world. She said that gods can't make any differences in the world. They're idolized creatures that are built by the beliefs of others. They don't have any wills of their own. They can't do any good in the world because they're constantly being shaped by others' expectations, others' beliefs. If someone believes hard enough that they become a monster, they become a monster. And that's just how gods are. But humans, mortal creatures, even mortal idolons, they can still make differences in the world. Something as simple as a bug devour a flower, which starves an animal, which then leads to a chain of extinction. She told me that I was going to be her difference in the world. That I'd be the one to start a chain reaction of doing good by people, doing right by people, making sure that, I don't know, some foolish ideal perhaps that there's some sense of justice in the world, that good is a universal force, it's not all gray. She armed me with holy relics, and for what it's worth, I tried my best to lead up to my expectations. I tried my hardest. And
Hello. I'll be waiting at the gate when you're ready. Goodbye.
goodbye.
Yeah, it's getting closer to closing
I tried
time.
my best.
And you're just gonna stop here? You're just gonna give up?
It's getting harder to keep the faith.
Fuck the faith.
Especially with this beating bloody urge in the back of my mind. Desire to give in to this killer instinct and just go barrel, go ape shit. I can't do anything, and that's the problem.
S.
Even if I lose myself, the most I can do is make myself harder. Ow.
Listen.
In my head so much, take it.
Listen. Fuck the faith. Fuck the urges. Not literally, mind you. But if you want to be a good person, be a good person. Your nature does not make you who you are. If you want to go out and be that knight of justice and help people because you believe one good turn in turn gives another, go for that. No one's gonna stop you. No one can stop you from doing that.
At least I haven't done anything like grown claws or.
No, if you
anything
do,
worse than this.
if you do, it's just another tool to defend people with, isn't it?
Suppose.
You look at my arm, what do you think?
I think maybe you were careless.
I lost my arm because of Dorada. She asked me to.
Yes, I hear a lot about this Dorada person.
She asked me to kill somebody who
I
threatened
still
her
don't
child
think
before she was even born. Then to experiment on her child with the stuff I'm made out of with her. And so I decided to attempt to kill him. Obviously, I didn't take it seriously because something just didn't seem right. Even Dorada said something didn't seem right about where she heard this information from. But she was emotional. It was her child, obviously. So I did what was asked. And that's where I kind of got screwed over by the person I followed before. A man named John. He was old and should have died from old age long ago, but through sheer stubborn force of will, he stayed alive to keep farming. I managed to convince the people who came after me to just take an arm instead of taking my life. Hence why I think Rosie isn't willing to speak with me anymore, because I never explained that part to her. The little mothkin you may have seen before.
I hear a lot about this Dorada person, and the more I hear about them, the less I like them.
She's
I
fine.
really just want to wrap my hands around their neck.
And yet, she also sacrificed almost everything to save the realm of the people she loves. Or bring it back from the extinction it was at. First, it was just a little thing to try.
Self-sacrifice alone doesn't make yourself a good person.
I know. And there are things in her past I really can't tell you. Those are things only she can say.
Yeah.
But when I say she's a good person, she is.
Am I a good person? Right?
Do you think you are? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what others say about you. It matters what you really think of yourself. Do you think you yourself? And take some time to figure it out. If you ask me, I say yes, you are a good person. But at the end of the day, that definition really matters and comes down to you. If I ask myself, am I a good person, I will say, no, I'm not a good person. But I'm trying my best. Ellis is a good person as well, but he's full of flaws, and I don't think he himself will say he's a good person. The criteria is always different. You just gotta take your time and figure out what these things mean for yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, especially in the circumstances you find yourself in now, it's not going to be others that keep you anchored, it's going to be yourself that keeps you anchored.
Gray, I want you to do me a favor. This may be a little bit antithetical, but it's one thing I remember. When I started acting rash, only one thing that always brought me back to my wits was just getting hit really hard.
And if you start acting dumb, I'll give you a whack
I don't
inside the
know.
head.
I don't know if it'll still work though, that's the thing. With my head being detachable.
It works. Don't worry about it. You were ranting earlier and I donked you in the head, remember? I believe a certain someone got distracted from the thought she was having. You can anchor yourself just fine. It's a matter of finding what that anchor is supposed to be. For me, it's a promise I made to somebody. At first, it was just that person, and then she had me make a promise to her. And I'm just doing my best to keep it, even though I'm struggling with it.
Yeah.
Find something you can anchor yourself with.
It's closing time and I have a lot of thinking to do.
Mm-hmm. And if you have to, just find yourself a little isolated spot to think in.
But now what's been helping me out is just finding a nice isolated corner of things and just screaming really loud.
Oh yeah, just find an empty forest. Shout to your lungs' content.
But, I mean, what kept me going when I initially died was just raw, unbridled disdain and fury and resentment and just a flurry of negative emotions that came out just all at once.
And that's what
I've been
happens.
holding them in for thousands of years.
And that's what happens when you repress yourself. Try not to repress your emotions as well.
Perhaps magnified.
It's not going to end well if you do.
I'm
Also, don't
sorry.
blame Blake and
I really
Shiro.
am.
Don't blame Blake and Shiro for what happened. I don't think either of you did, or either of you three did any more in-depth method or investigations into the cultivation style you were going to do. And even if this
I'm
wasn't...
not upset at them because of what happened. I'm upset at them because I can't trust them.
You can trust them, that's the thing. They meant well, but
I can.
you can. They just didn't know what they were doing.
I talked with them not too long ago. Before I came here, and Blake offered his life out of some manner of repentance. Said that it would restore her honor.
Funny thing about
They'd
those
rather
two.
die than take responsibility, and so after I yelled at them about it and rightfully called them out on it, they said, I'll lay down my arms. I won't raise a single hand against you. That's a promise. So you know what I did?
Whacked him in the
I
head.
asked them to break the barrier that was holding me in. I took my hand, and I went to throw a punch, and I stopped it. Just to see what would happen. And when you know it, Shiro popped out. And nearly clocked me as well. So much for not raising a hand against me.
Blake and Shiro are two separate people. And the way they were raised culturally... Hold on. Okay, well, if that's the case. You are now to blame for everything your goddess has done, so anyone she's hurt, we're gonna hurt you for doing so now. That's the
We're
thought
not the
process.
same being.
And Blake and Shiro are not the same person either. Something Blake
Yeah, but we're not
promises...
sharing the same body.
Sharing the same body means nothing. If Blake promises something, Shiro himself is not held to that. Besides, they're actually two separate bodies due to a curse they have. Blake promised not to raise an arm. Shiro... Blake promised not to raise an finger against you. Shiro, on the other hand, is fiercely protective of his sister, and if she's not going to defend herself, he will defend her.
I see.
As for the honor thing, Blake believes she's messed up, and in doing so not only dishonored herself in some way, but also you, because you put your faith in her with this cultivation, and she messed up with it. Thus she feels she had to repent
Oh, more
somehow.
than just a simple oopsie-doopsie, a little ooh-woo, wookie-wookie.
I know.
Like that,
I know. Why do you think she offered her life? Yes, one life for
I don't
another.
want it.
And
All
tell
I
her
hear is
that.
that they would rather die than take responsibility.
That's
And
how
I
they
rightfully
take
told them
responsibility.
as such.
That's how they take responsibility back home. The issue is multiple different cultures in different realms. I think it's stupid too. But back home for them, it's not stupid. Back home for them, that's how things are done. And that's the problem. Something you gotta keep in mind is everyone's from different cultures. Everyone struggles with different things and everyone excels in different ways with their cultures. Blake and Shiro, back home, honor is a lot. Honor determines your worth, and honor probably helps them in the afterlife, their afterlife as well. Blake accidentally took your life, so she offers her life in exchange to repay what she's done. I'm not saying forgive them entirely, but you can. I'm not saying forgive
They
them
want to make it
entirely.
up to me. They can help me down this whole cultivation horse shit, because now it looks like I'm all in on it.
Tell you what. When Lowell shows up, I will kidnap you as well to bring all 5 of us this time. to Lowell's home, and we'll see what
Where
we
are
can
we
find on your cultivation. I'm going to Lowell's.
I've been to Lowell's home a number of times.
Well, this
Not
time,
since I died, of course, but do you recall when I got trapped inside of a magic garbage can?
this time all 5 of us will go, and we'll see what we can do for getting all of your cultivations. Alright, you better go catch up with Ellis. And if you need a fight to get your emotions out, let me know. I'm almost down to spar, I guess.
Thanks. Earnestly.
No problem. Get going. For Ellis decides to leave without you and you have to walk home.